Hello, my Jurassic Park lovers, my people of fine tastes. That's right, only the finest of wines may grace your ears as you listen to YemmyCast, a video game podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, aka DJ Yemmy. Hey, welcome everyone. It's been quite the week. A lot of things have happened in the news lately for video games. Coming up in the show, we're going to talk about a Fortnite event that failed almost as hard as Firefest. Jesus Christ! Rocket League's added in new things to help you with the Rocket League has added in new things to help with the Rocket League crossplay. Respawn has banned a ton of people, and Harmonix is releasing a new game. All that and more up next on YemmyCast, a video game podcast. Hey, how's everyone doing today? I am your host once again, Yemmy. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who's listening in. YemmyCast does premiere at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, and it's available on all other platforms the same day. So thank you for whichever platform you're listening on. I do appreciate you so much. You touch me in the heart. So how's everyone's week? How's everyone's days going? A new week. New chance to get fired from your job, of course, but also new chances to play video games that you maybe have not gotten to play yet. Me personally, I played a few things this last weekend and during this week. Games I didn't play very much starting off the year, and also a new game. I played a new game this week as well. I'll get into that stuff in a little bit. I also went to a used video games shop, which also has like toys, movies, CDs. You know, those stores are kind of dying nowadays. But I found something from my past, something that I used to play with when I was a kid, and I was wondering if anyone else had these. So what I have in my hands right now, and what's on the screen for YouTube, is the Micro Machines Star Wars Ice Planet Hoth playset, and I also have the Endor one as well, with the Ewoks. And I also had the Death Star one, but they didn't have that one, so, you know, oh well. But as soon as I saw these, I was like about to pick out some games, because they have them locked behind the counter. Well, not the counter, but like a glass wall. And I was about to pick out some games, and I turned around and I looked at the Star Wars wall for a second, and these things were right in front of my face. And they must have just gotten them in because, to be honest with you, I don't remember seeing them ever before. And I was like, immediately, like, my heart was like, it fluttered a little bit. And I remembered, like, all the memories of playing with these little sets came back to my mind. And it was still, I mean, Endor was sealed. Endor was sealed up with the original tape and everything. I haven't opened that one yet. The Hoth one, though, the Battle of Hoth, was open, but I think it's because the tape was just so old. So what I did is I opened it up, I looked at it, reminisced, put it back in place. I don't think these will be worth millions in the future, but I just bought them because, you know, it's a blast from my past. I used to play with these sets so much. I used to make up my own Star Wars stories and movies. You know, I used to play around with the little X-Wings and the TIE Fighters. I had a whole bunch of them. Like, Micro Machines also released, like, the collection packs, which had, like, various items from each movie. So, like, there's one pack with a B-Wing and Jabba's floating palace and an AT-ST. Another one had a TIE Fighter, a Snowspeeder, and an AT-AT. The other one had a Millennium Falcon and an Imperial Star Destroyer and an X-Wing. I had so many of those little things, and I think I still have the box at my parents' house that stores all that stuff. I'm going to have to dig it out and find it, because like, those were a huge chunk of my childhood. I played with those things until I was like 12 years old, maybe 13. Like, that's how long I played with these things. And I think most of the characters stood the test of time. I think there was a Luke Skywalker figure, a little micro figure that my dog ate, like, the head and hands off of. So I used him as like a dead body. But it was really it was really exciting to me personally to find this kind of like, especially in the original boxes, sealed, taped up. The guy behind the counter was like, "Damn it, I was gonna take those home today." So obviously they were there. I was so excited to find that, to have this kind of find at a place that I go. I mean, it's been weekly at this point because I've been collecting older games. Like last week, I picked up Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts just for the shits and giggles, and it still has the freaking like map with all the character info. And I remembered how ugly the characters look in this game. It didn't come with Viva Pinata. I'm sorry. But I got Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and it was like $10. I was like, kid, couldn't go wrong. You know, I got the Civil War game from the History Channel, which sucks ass. But that was only $10. I was like, I would love to relive this game. This game was like fucking ridiculous. I didn't notice that the insert here, the little pamphlet, had like a cum stain on it. That's kind of gross. But anyways, cool stuff. I mean, I like going to the used stores, especially there's one around me called, and I think it's everywhere. I went to the first one I went to was in Pittsburgh. It was called the Exchange. There's one around me, and you know, it's interesting to go there and see just what people drop off and sell and stuff like that. Like one guy went in there one time. One time I went in there and there's a guy there and he was trying to sell like the pro versions of the Rock Band instruments. So there was like a guitar, you know, the guitar that actually could play the music by you going along the. It was a really dumb idea by Rock Band. It sucked. It was nowhere near where Rocksmith was, but they tried. They sure tried. And so he was like, well, you guys won't take this stuff. What am I going to do with it? I went up to him, I'm like, sell it on eBay. Like, I'm not going to buy it myself. No way. No fucking way. But you can probably sell that on eBay for a good amount of money because people are looking for that stuff. It's just the used stores aren't going to buy that stuff because back in the day when people really loved Rock Band and Guitar Hero, they were collecting that stuff and it was just sitting on the walls and stuff. But nowadays it's not really that popular, but you can still go on eBay and find like brand new sealed Guitar Hero 3 controller for $60. It's like, that's a pretty good deal if I needed one. And I kind of do need one. My old Guitar Hero 2 guitar is not doing too hot anymore. I can still use it on the Xbox 360, but it doesn't really work that well with Rock Band 3, I noticed. But whatever, that's a story for a different time. I love my rhythm games, but I also love my collectible finds almost as much. Almost as much. Sorry, I had to talk about that because that was the Micro Machines, the Star Wars sets, they were my fucking childhood. Like, they came out in, like, 1994, I think, and I think my parents got me some for my, like, the 6th Christmas or something, like 7th Christmas, and I just played with them nonstop after that. Like, Micro Machines had a lot of cool shit. I remember Micro Machines had this, like, playset that was inside of, like, a giant van, and it was, like, this huge thing. There was like mountains and you know, lots of stuff for these little tiny army trucks and stuff to kind of go along and do. And there was a giant like cannon on the top of it, and of course I lost the bullet to it the second I shot it into the Christmas tree. But it was like Micro Machines had a lot of good ideas, and a lot of it was really fun to play with. And unfortunately, I don't think the company is around anymore. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know that this stuff was legit. It was fun to play with. I mean, Hoth has a giant turret that can move around. You know, one thing about Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, I don't know why they didn't take that ball turn and just aim it at the AT-ATs like that. That would have been like solved your problem right there. But they had to open up the ways for the ships to come through. Anyways, that, you know, that's a story for a different time too. But hey, let's move up to what I've been playing video game wise this week. And top of my list right now is Metro Exodus. And I know that a lot of people have said that the game has technical limitations, blah 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 blah. I don't see it myself. Maybe I'm just blinded by my love for the series, but Metro Exodus, after you get past like the first cookie cutter mission that, you know, teaches you how to play the game essentially, and you can only do one thing, go one way, I'm really enjoying it. Like, even though the load times are a little bit long when you're going into the open world sections, I think this game does a beautiful job of kind of mirroring the Metro style, but in an open world setting. One thing I would like to see in this game that I haven't yet, and I've gotten fairly far in the game. I'm just getting to the second open world area that's kind of like in a desert, which is it's sweet, but it has a completely different atmosphere from all the other games and the opening area. But I'm just getting to that part, and I haven't seen like anything to do with like a secret metro tunnel or something like that. Places that are abandoned that have lots of loot, stuff like that you would see normally in an open world game. That would have been really cool to implement and be like, okay, here's the opening to a metro station. Let's see what's in there. Maybe it's the radiated husk people. Who knows? But there are a fair amount of areas that get marked on your map to explore at. You want to make sure you do those things, and also make sure you do the side quests as well, because they give you a lot of stuff and give you a lot of loot, and it's really, who doesn't want to get a teddy bear for a little girl, okay? You're an asshole if you don't get that fucking teddy bear. Just saying. I really enjoy the open world. The first area was a lot of fun. It really reminded me of that one level from Last Light where you're in like the swamp and you're in the suit that is like capable of going through a swamp. And also they start off with this really weird cult that you find as well. I'm not going to give away anything about the story or anything like that. This is like literally like the first 30 minutes of you playing the game. You can find a cult. It's really interesting to see like how these different civilizations kind of formed. So, like I said, the beginning of the game's kind of cookie cutter. You know where it's going to go. We knocked out the jammers. What's going to happen? Oh, we noticed that there's billions of people on Earth still. Whatever. I saw that coming a mile away. But now, as the story kind of gets more into it, I'm really enjoying it and really enjoying the feel and the look of the game. And I also really enjoy the crafting aspect. Instead of you just being able to craft things out of thin air like in Tomb Raider and Horizon Zero Dawn and Far Cry, this one you actually have a backpack on your back that can work as a quote-unquote crafting station. It's a miniature one, so you can craft bullets for your air compressor gun, you can craft med kits and air filters, you can craft throwing knives and cans to distract enemies, but that's the limit of it. And you can also put new attachments on your weapon in it as well, but you can't clean your weapon, you can't do special things to your weapons. But once you get to a crafting station, that's where you can clean your weapons, because I was really surprised that it actually worked, that the system actually worked as well as it did, because I was shooting some watchmen who were coming at me with a revolver that I had found on the ground and I had been using for a little while, and I hadn't noticed the cleaning capability that you could do when you're at an actual workbench. And what I did is I was shooting, and all of a sudden my gun was like ping, ping, ping. I was like, what the fuck happened? I still have not six, but I still have 3 bullets in the chamber. And my dude had to like flip around it, he had to do a bunch of stuff with it, and eventually I was like, I can't wait for him to do this, so I pulled out my AK-47 or whatever it's called, the AK type gun. It wasn't as modded as it is now, and I started firing that rapid fire, and all of a sudden it's like the barrel got really heated up, and I heard strange noises coming from it, and of course it didn't work anymore, and I was like, oh shit. So I switched back to revolver, he did something with it, and it worked again, and I was like, I got out of that situation. But once I got to the workbench, I was like, what, did my weapons degrade or something like that? No, just from walking around with your weapon out, it starts to get dirty when you jump into puddles, when you get into fights, when you do that. That is really interesting to me and a really good aspect of this game. Something that they really built upon really well. Crafting and stuff like that comes very naturally in this game. I like how you kind of have to prepare for what you're going to get into. Because on the difficulty that I'm on, I just chose the regular difficulty that the game wanted you to choose. There's ammo is pretty abundant, but once you get into a fight or something like that and you're done with a mission and you're coming back to the train, where'd all my ammo go? I went through this whole level pretty stealthily, or maybe I had to do a shootout with a couple of mutants, but now all of a sudden I'm out of shotgun ammo and I have to use this gun, or I'm out of everything and I have to try and run back to the train. A lot of the areas also have, like in the first area especially, there's a lot of like lakes, and so you have to use a rowboat to get across. Well, these giant mutated shrimps, you have to kind of dodge them in the water, and then there's also the giant fish that'll knock you over, and you have to frantically swim to the edge or get back on your boat. It's funny stuff like that, and a lot of the levels that are actually made in the game, like once you get to an area, you're in a level, a lot of them are really fun and really engaging. And I actually kind of cheesed the game a little bit, and I did a part of a mission before I had to go there. There's a part where you get an extra train car for the train, and it wasn't marked on my map or anything. I just went there, and all the enemies were there, and they were doing their thing. I killed them all because I'm a murderer. And I went and did other missions, and during the mission that would have gotten you here, once it got there, all the guys were still dead, all the loot was still looted, there was nothing new in the area, and I had opened up the gate for the cart, for me to get the cart, so I just drove in, cooked it up, and drove out. Easy peasy. So that's the fun stuff about the game, and I'm really enjoying my time with Metro Exodus, as you couldn't tell. Is it a Game of the Year contender? Maybe, but we gotta see what else comes out. It's too early to say, but I am really enjoying my time. If I'm going to be playing it down the road too, that's another thing that factors into Game of the Year type things. But I do think that, yes, the game doesn't start out the best, but I think once you get going, the game really gets in the motion. And this game takes place after Last Light, the good ending. So it's where you get the what are they called? The Shadow People. I forget what they're called right now because I'm stupid. But they save D6, and they save your character and Captain Miller and all your friends. So that's all who are in this game. And your squad's pretty well done. The voice actor from Bulletstorm, who plays the main dude in Bulletstorm, is in this game. I think his character's name is Sam. He sounds kind of out of place in this game, but he has such a lovely voice. Like, I can't knock him. I can't knock him. But yeah, great game. I give this one a full round of applause because it is a great game. So yeah, I that's what I gotta say about Metro Exodus. Now, on the other hand, I finally got around to finishing Far Cry 5. Me and my friend finished it together, me and Nick, and I put out a video for it. We got Cheeseburger late in the game, which is a bear who can maul enemies, and I made a video out of it. Okay, it's on my channel now if you want to watch it. It's called Far Cry 5 Adventures with Cheeseburger. There's lots of funny moments in it. But of course I didn't put a lot of effort into editing it because I really was burnt out of the game by the time it was done, and I was hating myself rewatching everything, and I was like, oh my god, how do we get through this without falling over and falling asleep? The thing about Far Cry 5 is, like, it starts out so explosively. It starts out so perfectly with this character, and he's very Far Cry 3-esque. And he's taken over Montana, and you're there to arrest him. That's it. And things happen. He captures you. Stuff like that happens. But when you go through the game, you get done with the first area, and all of a sudden your character's like working with the villains of the game, like Faith and this James, the other one who's like the veteran. You kind of work with them for a little bit. Like, you do, like, their missions require you to kill good people. They require you to do this. They're like, you're working with them. You're getting indoctrinated. You hear the song and you go crazy, and that part of the game, like, really confused me, because it's like you're fighting them this whole time, but then these missions that are made specifically to advance the plot, they make you be indoctrinated pretty much. So no matter what ending you give to the game, I'm not going to spoil it. It doesn't really matter in the end. And also, the two endings of the game, the one of them is is actually the true ending. If you choose option B, guess what? They put you back to the main menu. You don't get the trophy. You don't get New Game Plus unlocked. So you have to go back. You drive back to the compound. Listen to the conversation again that lasts for 3 years. And then you do the actual ending. And the actual ending is just a piss poor boss fight and a driving section. It just annoyed me a lot. I'm sorry. But people who like Far Cry 5, I don't get it. Like, I got it at first. There was a truck with machine guns on it. You got a dude who was flying a plane and yee-hawing. You got a dog, Duke. Was that his name, Duke? He was cute. But, boy, after that first area, I just got so burnt out of the game. The map is so vast and huge, and it takes a while to drive places, which is fine. It's fine. But it just, even though the world was so big and it took so long to get to places, it felt like it was really not populated with anything but dumb AI and glitches and stuff like that. I wasn't enjoying it myself at the end of the game. Am I going to try and go for the platinum? I only have like 5 trophies to get, so I might. But there's a lot of stuff for the DLC. Like, there's a Vietnam one, a zombies one, and a moon one, or a Mars one, I'm sorry. And I'm probably gonna get those done since I did buy the season pass. And am I gonna get New Dawn? We'll see. If I enjoy the DLC, I'll probably get it. But for now, who knows? Okay, let's get into the first official news of today, and this is a rocket ship right up your ass. Like, so if you live in the UK, you might have heard about the Fortnite Live event. So the Fortnite Live event was at Norfolk, United Kingdom. Tickets started at £12 each, but they went up another £20 for unlimited access to everything. What ended up happening is about 2,500 people arrived at this show, and there just wasn't anything to do. The queue lines were so long for the events and the rock climbing and the go-karts, I think there was. And there was just nothing to do. Everyone was just standing around. People were bored. I mean, there's a bunch of kids there too, and keeping them entertained is like a priority usually at festivals because they are the ones who will rile up the most if there's nothing to do. But this was supposed to be the quote-unquote Fortnite event of the year, and the organizers, they promised so many things like laser tag, go-karts, stuff like that, and also there was going to be stations set up to play the free-to-play game with people locally, and whoever won got prizes, I'm pretty sure. But many of these attendees, they stood in long queues. There were staff shortages. There were shortages of food. I mean, this was literally like Fire Festival 2.0. So what we found out was the outside area was not done well at all. Apparently there's an inside area that had a little bit more to it, but for the most part, I mean, crickets were coming around. I mean, everyone was like, wow, this is a great event, amazing event, 10 out of 10.
Boo, you stink!
And eventually, that it just shut down. Kids won't be floss dancing at this one, I tell you what. But yeah, there was others planned in the future, but unfortunately, as we move to the next article, Epic Games, the studio who created Fortnite, has sued Fortnite Live. So, wah-wah. A big wah-wah to the people behind Fortnite Live. They said in a quote, all we wanted to do was bring the love of Fortnite out in this event, but according to Epic Games, taking their logos, taking the game out and selling tickets to just play the game in general, they were not happy with that at all. So now they the legal elves, here they come. The legal elves are scampering along and they're going, here's a subpoena. But the people were like, we just wanted to do this for the kids. And now Fortnite is suing us. It's like, well, duh. I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for these people because they did do it for the love of Fortnite, I guess you would say. But they also were looking at the dollar signs as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so apparently there's Fortnite suing. They had Fortnite Live had future events planned in both Spalding and Newark. Is that how you say it? Newark. But of course, it's gone. They were hoping that the festival would gain traction and maybe Epic Games would help them out. But instead, Epic Games has sued them into oblivion. But yeah, that's what you get. I mean, that's really... I mean, I don't want to sound like an ass, but I mean, you get what you dish out. And you dished out a horrible festival, and you dished out a horrible event, and that's what you get. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Oh,
you stink!
What an asshole. Alright, a bunch of YouTubers got banned while playing Pokemon Go, and it seems that the YouTube algorithm AI accidentally banned them for nudity. Oh my god! Nudity in a Pokemon game. Technically, it's sexual content, but that the joke doesn't land that way. But anyways, people, big-time YouTubers, like people who play Pokemon Go for a living, I know it seems like a joke, but it's true. People like Marksman, Mystic7, Trainer Tips, they all got accidental bans and were locked out of their Google accounts, and they were informed that their content wasn't family-friendly, and it was prohibited. The material was prohibited. And one guy reached out to YouTube and said, y'all into Pokemon or something? So after some confusion and outcry, of course, on social media, Google has reinstated all the blocked accounts, and they admit that they were banned mistakenly. At least they owned up to it. A lot of companies won't own up to something. Oh, we sold the airplane company a part that wasn't good. That wasn't our part. They should have inspected it themselves. So yeah, they have their Google accounts now and all their views and worth and stuff like that. I wonder if any of these Pokemon Go players carry around a Pokeball with them, and it actually has mints in it, because everyone loves generic knockoff mints. Am I right? Alright, so the remake of Zelda Link's Awakening is gonna be around $60, Nintendo says. Now, this is something that's raised my eyebrows a little bit, especially because it's a remaster of a game. It doesn't seem like they're offering any new content in the game, but they're still putting it at a full $60 release. This is kind of concerning to me, because a lot of remasters that come out are $40, which I think is still a little bit high, I'll say it, but it's a little bit more negotiable, they've done a lot to the game. That's the price it was at its original release back in the day. Games like Burnout Paradise, sure, it wasn't really remastered that much. So now that it's at $20, I feel like that's a good deal for it. Resident Evil 5 came out for 4, actually 5 too, and 6, I think, when their little remaster HD releases came out. I believe they were all $20. But Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening has come out with and they're saying that hey, it's going to be about $60. I'm thinking it's more like 40. If it's more like 40, I'm definitely going to pick it up. If it's 60, I will totally wait for a sale for that, because I feel like the game, even though it has a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people, even though people are probably going to overlook this because they go, oh, well, they did build the game from the ground up, and they have, there's a few cool things that they've added into it, and the graphics look nice, and but it's still a remaster in the end. It's still a ground-up remaster. Even Assassin's Creed 3 is going to be $30, and Ubisoft, EA especially, are notorious for boosting up prices at the first week of launch. And I feel like Assassin's Creed 3, with all the DLC and the Liberation Pack, is a fair price at $30. Burnout Paradise, set to $40 when it originally came out, was not too good of a deal, but now it is a good deal. Link's Awakening is probably going to be the same thing. They're going to put it out at a $60 price tag, close to $60 price tag, and they're going to reel it back. Remember, this was the original Game Boy, not a Game Boy Color, but an original Game Boy game, and I feel like you should probably price it around the same price, maybe a little bit higher. I'm thinking this game should probably go for about $30 to $40, but if it really is $60, whatever. I'm not going to pick it up right away. If you want to pick it up right away, that is completely your decision. I'm not going to try and guide you away from it, of course, but I'm just saying, like, this could set something in motion for the future of gaming. Oh man, we're going back around the Fortnite. I'm sorry, guys. I know, for a person who doesn't like Fortnite, I sure talk about it a lot, but apparently the Carlton dance might be fair use for Fortnite after all. So as you know, or if you didn't know, the person who who did the original Carlton dance on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his name is Alfonso Rubio? I forget how they exactly pronounce his name, but he was in the process of suing Fortnite because they used the Carlton dance in the game. They don't call it the Carlton. I don't think they call it the Carlton, but it's still there. And also, if you remember the Floss Kid, who is one of the most gifted singers of all time.
I be flossing. I be flossing.
He also, I believe, is trying to sue Fortnite as well. But a lawyer a U.S. Copyright Office worker has thrown this into the ring. And he has said to the TMZ and the world, the combination of these three dance steps is a simple routine that is not registerable under the choreographic work. So that means he can't copyright the dance moves. And this might also happen to the Floss Kid as well. If he actually, I don't remember if he actually did try the sewer or not. I don't remember. But they might actually, they might use this against him as well. So does this mean that Epic Games is victorious? Did they get a battle royale? I mean, I guess we'll have to see. They have a countless others lawsuits right now. This was one of the bigger ones, of course, because it would change the game, essentially kicking this dance move out. I don't know. Have you seen any kids doing Fortnite dances at your local restaurants? I saw one the other week. It was pretty cringy. I almost threw up my soup. All right, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is bringing New Game Plus and other things with a big patch next week. People have been wanting this for a while, and they're finally getting the New Game Plus. They're also increasing the level cap to 99, and they're adding 2 new mercenary tiers. I'm not sure what that is because I haven't played the game yet. I do have it on my shelf. Okay? It's there. Like I said, I just haven't had time to play it. I've said it before. I'm sorry, everyone. I haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet. Oh, Yemmy! You'll play Far Cry 5, but you won't play Assassin's Creed Odyssey? I'm sorry, I haven't even finished Origins yet. What? You haven't finished Origins? Oh my god. Jeez, calm down. But they're also going to be adding more fast travel points to make it easier to navigate the Greek world. That's all I have to say about that. I don't want any spoilers on the game until I've played it in 5 years. Alright, Rocket League is adding a friend update that allows you to create cross-platform parties. Finally. So this will allow PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox players to add each other with a Rocket ID, which is a universal code for adding people to your party or friends list, essentially. So there'll be a new tab with the friends list, and it will also show your cross-platform buddies. You'll be able to add new people by searching their Rocket IDs rather than a platform-specific name. This is good for this. I mean, I think a unique code instead of a username is 10 times better than that's good. That's great because people can have the same name cross platforms and it might not be the same person. You never know. So I think this is a good idea. Just giving someone your Rocket ID, adding them, playing Rocket League on whatever platform you choose. Because we're not biased here. We're not biased. Even though Xbox never has any news, so it kind of seems like I'm biased, only talking about PlayStation and Nintendo. I swear to you, Xbox just does not have any news. You go to whatever blog you want, Xbox is like, yeah, we got nothing this week. Crackdown 3? You excited about that? I don't know. Alright, Respawn, which is the creator of Titanfall and Apex Legends, which is probably going to be known for now. It banned over 16,000 cheaters in Apex Legends on all platforms. And they're going to add in a in-game report feature, which probably is going to be abused. I mean, I believe the Fortnite one and every other one is abused to hell, but this one's probably going to be under the same boat. But they've found 16,000 unique users. They were cheating, and they've banned them. I don't know how it works on consoles. Of course, computer games is a little bit easier to ban people on. Console-wise, I'm not sure how they do that. Maybe they just block their user account from accessing the servers. Whatever. It's good that they're doing this because I haven't run into any cheaters personally on the PlayStation throughout my events. Maybe I never noticed them. I don't know. I just haven't run into anyone like that. But there are obviously people who are using glitches and stuff like that to essentially hack the game or cheat the game. And you don't want that in your Battle Royale. You want it to be fair. And I'm enjoying Apex Legends, so please don't ruin the game for me. This is like the first Battle Royale game that I'm actually playing and enjoying even if I don't win. Fuck. Spider-Man PS4 Platinum Trophy Achievers, you will be rewarded with a free avatar, which is, I believe, the PlayStation Platinum logo with Spider-Man in front of it. So in your email, you will receive a email from... Well, that's a dumb sentence. In your email, you will receive an email. No, you're going to receive a message from Sony, and it's going to have a code in it for, guess what? A new avatar. So anyone who has attained 100% in Insomniac's... Oh my gosh. So anyone who's achieved 100% in Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac Games... you will get a code and you will possibly get a free avatar. I haven't looked at my email recently. Let me look right now. So I haven't gotten mine yet. I just looked myself, but just pay attention to your inbox from PlayStation for the next few weeks. They're going to start shipping them out soon, I'm sure. Other games that, if you get the Platinum for, you get emails and stuff for, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Bloodborne. All three of those games, well, okay, two of those games I've actually Platinumed and 100%ed, Bloodborne and Horizon. I don't remember ever getting anything for those. God of War I haven't done yet. Maybe my friend has, though. Nick has. So maybe he's gotten something in his email he didn't notice. If he's listening to this, you might want to check your trash. All the way back and way when. Okay, Harmonix announced a new VR rhythm game, and it's called Odyssea? Something like that. It's a twin shooter that's kind of in the vein of things like Beat Saber, but instead you shoot a gun. It's not really revealed how it plays yet. There's a little bit of a trailer that shows the person aiming and shooting, but I don't know how accurate you have to be to get the points on these kind of things. It's going to be launching early access in March for PC VR devices, but the person who is behind the project wants to bring the game to PlayStation VR as well. As you know, Beat Saber took a little bit longer to get onto the PlayStation 4. They had to remove a lot of things, like downloading free songs from, the modding community. So they might have to kind of do the same thing to this game if there is a big modding community on PC. This game looks interesting. It looks high energy. Just shooting where you need to shoot, doing multiple shots, and then also there's a slicing mechanic as well that you just can slice in pretty much any direction, I'm pretty sure, to hit these like gray balls that go at you. But anyways, I like to see Harmonix do well, Their last game called Drop Mix was a flop because who's going to buy a whole new standalone thing just to kind of play it one time and drop it? I feel bad for them because that game was it wasn't a hit, it was a miss.
I guess they never miss, huh?
And that's unfortunate for them, and I think they can come back with this game, Rock Band 4 has been doing okay for them, and Drop Mix, of course, did not do well. So hopefully Odyssea does better in the sales for them, because I want to see them succeed. Even though I shit on Rock Band 4 a lot, through Discord or through this podcast, I will say this, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do well again. I want to see them make the next big craze in gaming. Unfortunately, with Rock Band 4's less than stellar release, and then also they did the Rivals thing, which you had to pay an extra $30 to buy the same fucking game, but just get multiplayer. There's still no random quick play, nothing like that. There's still no co-op campaign mode. Everything from Rock Band 3 should have just been ported the fuck over, but I'm getting too far into this. I need to calm down, and I need to relocate myself into a different headspace. We're going to move on to the next news story before I pop a gasket.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Alright, people are being laid off in the hundreds at Activision and Blizzard, which is unfortunate for those people. They're losing their fucking jobs. Luckily, though, the employees are getting a comprehensive severance package, which with continued health benefits, career coaching, and more. Ooh, just like Activision to put in some DLC. Hey, you have to pay an extra $5 to get the and more option. But 9,600 people in the Blizzard / Activision's workforce has been laid off. I'm wondering if this is because they added on that guy from CD Projekt Red, who obviously would have a large paycheck in the company. Maybe they had to kind of divide and conquer. Who knows? But to be honest with you, Blizzard has said that their results have been record high in 2018. In 2018 especially. So why are they laying off so many people? Activision hasn't been doing terrible, Activision has actually been selling quite well. Black Ops 4, which I'm not a fan of, it was the best-selling downloaded game of 2018. Even though it didn't have a campaign mode, everyone seems to enjoy the game still. People are still playing it. I'm sure they're still selling not loot boxes, but in-game currency. So what happened? What happened within the company that need to do this? They're just doing a little bit of reconstruction, maybe. Maybe they're being like a football team. They have to take out some key players to add in some more. So essentially, Blizzard and Activision CEO Bobby Kotick said,
Fuck you!
"But you're fired." And the last story for today, Call of Duty in 2019, which is being made by Infinity Ward, is going to feature an entirely new campaign. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Who knows what this means? But entirely new campaign. Are they just saying that there's going to be a campaign in it in general? Or are they saying that there's going to be a new era? Are they saying that it's going to be completely new characters? What are they saying here? Is it going to be Infinite Warfare 2? I sure hope not. I mean, okay, I like the story from Infinite Warfare. Okay, I'll say it out loud. But do I want another futuristic game in the same vein? No. No. Everyone and their mother wants them to go back to modern warfare. Why won't they do it? Are they going to stay in the futuristic zone now? Is that what Infinity Ward is? You saw the results with Call of Duty World War II and Sledgehammer. Call of Duty World War II blew Advanced Warfare out of the water with their sales because they went back to something familiar, something that people wanted to. Why wouldn't, after the results from Infinite Warfare, obviously one of the lowest selling Call of Duty games of all time, obviously a game that no one was interested in, was one of the most disliked videos of that year and still is one of the most disliked videos out there. Why would they still do a futuristic game? Why would they do that? Maybe they won't. Maybe they aren't. Maybe this means that they're going to be continuing Modern Warfare. It's going to be entirely new. So maybe it's not going to be Modern Warfare, but maybe it's going to be around the same era. Maybe it's still going to be a Modern Warfare type game, but it's going to be called something different, kind of like Ghost was. We know it's not going to be Ghost 2 from the article they put out a few weeks ago saying that, fuck no, it's not going to be Ghost 2. But I'm really concerned right now because if Infinity Ward started another futuristic game, that means we have two futuristic games in a row. Black Ops 4 and let's call it Infinite Warfare 2 for right now. That's two futuristic games in a row. Two things that people don't want anymore. Even though Black Ops 4 sold well, I think it mostly sold well because of the Blackout experience. But this game, they've already said they're not doing a Battle Royale in this game. Maybe not yet. Maybe they'll add it in later. But they're saying that it's going to be a co-op mode, campaign, and extensive multiplayer. We'll see what this all means. I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting for them to release a title, waiting for them to release a screenshot, waiting for something to leak so we know what we're going to be getting. Because if it's futuristic, my wallet's going to be very sad either way. If it's going to be futuristic, I'm going to just be like, I'm just gonna sit down, sit back. I'm gonna go to the store and buy a whole bottle of vodka. I'm gonna put some ice in a glass. I'll pour in a little bit of vodka, swirl it around a little bit. Maybe even put one of those famous umbrella straws in there. And then I'll throw the glass away, I'll chug the vodka, and then I'll buy Infinite Warfare 2. Fuck, I am a depressing shitbag. So what does this mean for Call of Duty? What does it mean for Call of Duty? What does this mean for the sales numbers? What does this mean for anything? I'm so concerned about the next Call of Duty game, it's no joke. Like, literally, I am the most concerned I've ever been. Black Ops 4 was concerning. At least I knew what I was getting into. Right now, no clue. No clue. And on that note, we will end this episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast. YemmyCast premieres Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, and it's also available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. So if you want to listen anywhere you want. It doesn't matter to me. I love seeing the numbers on Spotify. Spotify updates their numbers like every day, and it's amazing to see how many people from different parts of the world are listening to my podcast. My voice right here, listening to my insanity. I hope everyone likes the new logo changes, new style changes, new everything that I put on the channel. Thank you again to Dammit Jim, who is the artist behind the Courage the Cowardly Dog Ferret, Yelling Ferret. Very great job on that. I love it so much. And thanks to everyone who has supported the podcast, who has listened to the podcast, who's here for the premiere, who's listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. Appreciate everyone. Once again, I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been YemmyCast, a video game podcast.